Going on, people? What is going on? I'm currently listening to the book The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. There's 2 sections of it on YouTube that is 11 hours and 41 minutes. 2 sections. This is section 1 and I'm on like 1 hour 28 minutes. So I've been getting a good amount of this. Definitely eye-opening. Pretty much done. I mean, you're talking about the last couple minutes of the Psycho-Cybernetics. As I told you, I've already read it before, but just soaking in the rest of it. Went and got tacos, because why not? Obviously got me a little, what is this, Coke Zero or Diet Coke or something? Whatever. Is what they had. And obviously I got my water here. So, doing this, obviously got to take some time to go over the charts, look at what predictions potentially, maybe look at some news clippings, kind of see what's going on the fundamental side of things. Like I said, get ready to smash these tacos. I'm going to show it to you right now. And then, again, slower day today at the gym. Not really a whole lot went down. Look at this. Let's see here. Oh, chorizo tacos. Wow, look at that. Fire. And, boom. Al Pastor. Banging. Got some green sauce over here on the side. We're ready. We're locked and we're loaded. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, don't want to continue to blab. I'm going to eat. We're going to break down the charts a little bit, so I'll pop it back on when we start breaking down the charts. We'll go through what we're looking at. Meta, NVIDIA, AMD, Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? Some of the different ones. We'll still break it down on TradingView. But we'll obviously look at it on Thinkorswim as well. In the morning, of course, it will obviously be Thinkorswim. That's how we'll execute our trades. But I'm still going to look at it on there because there's a lot more tools and it's a little bit more friendly for the eye. And because I already pay for the premium real-time data on TradingView, I want to, you know what I'm saying, have that tab open on one of the screens and have the Thinkorswim where I can execute on the options tomorrow morning. So I'm going to eat really quickly, and then we will go from there. We'll break down some of these charts and then we'll call it a day. I've folded my laundries all around me right now. So I need to put that stuff in the drawers, just kind of clean up, do a couple things, and then, yeah. So that is today, guys. Nothing super eventful, but we are making money tomorrow. All right? And if there's no move, we have to be willing and able to sit on our hands and not force the issue and try to place a trade just for trade's sake. So if we get a choppy market when the market opens and we don't see any continuation or breakouts, then we're not going to trade. So it's about nothing but execution tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow. Markets are open. Let's get it. We'll break down these charts in a little bit, and then we will call it a day. Peace. Got the Thinkorswim right here, and I've got the TradingView right here to the right. So I'm going to zoom in to the right chart. You guys will be able to see more about what this looks like tomorrow when we get live in trading. But for now, let's zoom into this so you guys can follow along. All right, so this is just SPY. So let me pull this chart over because it'll make it a little bit, oops, I'm still in the drawing tool. All right, so now you guys can get a good look at what's going on. So I've drawn a little bit of squiggly lines here, which obviously doesn't give you a whole lot of indication of what I'm looking at, but 2 things. So either, let me take this off, the market could go below this 38.2 level, which is usually a very strong Fibonacci level that it'll react in. Right now it's in the middle of it. I've used from the last higher low up to the higher high, and I want to see how far the retracement is. It's hit the 50 line right on the money, and now it's starting to hammer back up. This could obviously come right here, right into this level of support to the left, right up in here previously, and then just turn back over. So we're going to see what happens in the morning, and if this thing gaps down below 38.2, somewhere in like, let's just call it this, let's just call it, I'm going to get a drawing tool just in this region. If it gaps down up in here, it's very possible it just kind of slams this and then heads its way down, which is my initial drawing on the way down. The other one could be that it just kind of gaps, again, somewhere in this area. It could be higher even. And then it just comes up potentially pushes to 0, or what I typically see when it goes to 38 on the Fibonacci is that it'll go to negative 27 extension, which is up here somewhere, right in this 540 range. So again, not looking to be in moves all too long. This is about, I don't know what happened there. There we go. Not really looking to be in this position all too long, but you do have to realize what I'm looking at overall, and what I'm peeking at is on a higher time frame. Notice that we're on the weekly, that I'm looking at the Fibonacci retracement. So I'm not looking at a 5 minute, 1 minute, Fibonacci. I've done that before. Obviously, there's a whole lot more fake outs. Again, it's a smaller time frame, so it's not as valid, right? So you just have to look at the higher time frames. This is also what institutional and retail, and banks are looking to trade on the higher time frames, where they want price to go. We've obviously got a nice push down here below. Don't really, again, use RSI too much, but as I've told you, it's a little bit of videos I've watched with divergence. This is well above, its normal curve. Look what happens. Look left on the RSI down here, if you can see where my mouse is. I'll just put an arrow here so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Look at what happens every time it gets above this RSI chart. Boom, starts to take a knife down. Look what happened last time. It got up into this area somewhere around the 80s, which is similar to where it's going, and look what it did. Maybe a little bit of a halt or retest, which is what it looks like it's doing right here in current time, and then ends up tanking and going all the way down to somewhere in the 30s area, which is the bottom support, if you will, of the RSI. Now, even if you found a nice median reversion, right, somewhere in the 50 range, let's call it, between that bottom line, which is 20 or 30, all the way up to about 70, now you're starting to look at more of an equilibrium, but nevertheless, it comes down. So does it retrace and come back down to 50, or does it come down to 61.8? Does it come down to 78? Which would then perfectly test where previous resistance has been, which is 78.6, which would be right. Let's put a horizontal line there for you. Boom, right there at 475. So if I'm looking and this thing opens up below 38.2 and I take this down, I'm looking to take this down to 475 flat or 480. Well, let's come down off the weekly for a second and get some more clear look at this thing, because you just want to look left and see where could it potentially stall. You've obviously got a level in between here and this 480 level, to be frank. It's obviously not a touching. Once was resistance, once was support, or call it an indecision level. However, there is a line right here that's very clear at that 480. So again, if you want to be a little bit more conservative, if you're trading purely off of Fibonacci, then you're going literally from zone to zone. Right there, just take it on its way down. Take it back to 50, because it could bounce again and shoot back up. Not looking, again, as you can tell, to be in position super long, especially with, good enough contract size in that makes sense, where I'm keeping my risk tight, but there's obviously a high reward. And then most importantly, guys, popping out the shorts. Let's say it goes here. Right now it's currently at 508. Obviously it's not open yet. And let's say I just put this right above for a 4 or 5 tick stop at 513 or 510, and it's at 508, and I take this down to 61.8. You're talking about 19 ticks, right? That's like a tremendous take profit. That's a 3.91 risk to reward ratio. So you're looking at, almost a 1 to 4. This is a solid trade to take if it stayed right here with these, conditions, which it won't. Of course, we'll get different looks. So all I'm getting at is this is where we want to have a tight stop. It's not showing me what I want to see. Be able to bail out of that position early, reassess the market. If it's pushing up and it starts to try to creep up towards the 0, being able to, quite frankly, change my bias quickly, get on the other side of this thing, put my stop loss just below on a long, let's say. Let's throw a long out here so you guys can see what this would look like. Let's say we go the other way. I would keep this somewhere right here. 3 or 4 tick stop loss and take it up to 0. Where has it gone before? If I wanted to be more conservative, maybe not quite as high, because this is still a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. I'm looking at R multiples. That's all I really care about. I'm doing my best not to think about the money at all and just letting the play out. So again, I'm pulling this down. You see what my sell side would look like. You see what my buy side would look like at current price. Again, this is under the same conditions. But notice how my stops on both. One is a 3.5 tick stop. This is a 5 tick stop. This one here is a 10 tick reward. This one here is a 19 tick reward. Do you see right there that my risk to reward is well over 2R? So that right there is already going to give me positive outcome. What starts to mess with my P&L is when I start to take 0.4 risk to reward ratio trades, which doesn't make any sense. That's like this. I'm just showing you, it's obviously not any part on the chart that's, it's just all arbitrary. I'm just putting in a random spot. I've got a 1 tick stop, and then guess what? My take profit is less than that. Look at this. This is a 0.59. Does that make sense to you? First off, you've got a bigger loss than you do a take profit. 0.59. So I'm not even in a positive multiple, R multiple, and my stop is bigger than my take profit. This is how over time I'm going to lose all my money. Whereas I need to have much bigger, just knock my mouse down, let's grab that. I'm gonna have a much bigger take profit and or green area than I am red. It should be about twice as big or 3 times as big as the red area. I mean, that's about, guys, as simply as I can put it. I'm going to show you this here, as you can see really quick. This is the Thinkorswim. You've got this chart up, so we've got our setup nice and lined up. I wanted to go over that stuff with you today. Obviously, it's not super exciting. We're getting ready to get into the action tomorrow morning, and I'm ready to roll. I'm looking forward to it. I'm seeing numbers change and things like that on the watch list. Of course, market is not open, but the data is reading. We've got 12 hours until we open. It's a regular session. That right now it doesn't even read that the buying power is in there at all, but he said it's processed Monday. You'll be able to use it tomorrow. So I'm like, all right, let's go. And we're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. So again, that was just looking at SPY, guys. Okay? I was just looking at SPY. Of course, we're going to be peaking at NVIDIA. We're going to be peaking at Tesla. We're going to be peaking at Meta. These different ones that I've been watching over the past few days that have been looking pretty good. I don't see NVIDIA, breaking too much of a stride. If you look at it on the weekly, it, took a nice, mean pullback just a week ago. And so it's just rallying back on up. It's found a base somewhere around that 750 area, 760 area. Looks like it wants to take it back up to the high, somewhere in the 900s, right? The very, very highs, of course, are 974, 972. You've got other base right here in this 950 area. So, again, we're going to just take it to the next, to the next level, somewhere in that 905 area, if it allows us to tomorrow. So we're going to look at these, of course, see what the costs are, start throwing some contracts in, plan it smart, scaling out when I'm in profit to secure that, to continue to, again, as I told you, play good defense, pad the account with cash, and again, one day at a time. Excited to see what tomorrow holds. If there's a trade, we will execute on it. Make zero mistake about it. Peace.